Greetings to you this day. This is Michelle Strickland, and I'm coming to you today with my daily theology lesson. It's my daily meditation that I do for myself. I record it and I release it because maybe somebody else out there can get something out of it. It just so happens that I love God, Choose God this day. The bad guys, they sin. The good guys, we sin. We all sin. It's whom you serve, You don't have to be perfect. No one is perfect, No one is perfect. If you come to God, though, but try to be a little bit better, He'll help you, with your struggles, Love yourself, because if nobody else out there loves you, and you love yourself, you'll be okay. And never give up on yourself. Never, never give up. If you lost everything you have, if you have yourself, you have everything. For those of you who are just tuning in, I focus out of three major religious texts: the Bible, the Quran, and I'm in an introductory Buddhist text called The Shape of Suffering, and it deals with dependent co-arising. You can kind of look that up. I'm back at the rotation for the Bible. I'm still in Matthew chapter 26. I'm going to pick it up at verse 17. I don't know how far I'll get because, some of these Matthew triggers me. Sometimes these scriptures trigger me, so I don't get too far. But anyway, so it's chapter 26. I'm going to start at 17. I don't know how far I'm going to get because it's a pretty long chapter. But let me get started. Now the first day of the feast of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Jesus, saying unto him, Where wilt thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover? And he said, Go into the city to such a man, and say unto him, The master saith, My time is at hand. I will keep the Passover at thy house with thy disciples. I will keep the Passover at thy house with my disciples. And the disciples did as Jesus had appointed them, and they made ready the Passover. Now when the even was come, he sat down with the 12. And as they did eat, he said, Verily I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me. Don't we all? A lot of us know what that's like, don't we? That is never fun. When you find out somebody that was closest to you, betray you, that's heartbreaking. And they were exceeding sorrowful, and began every one of them to say unto him, Lord, is it I? And he answered and said, He that dippeth his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me. Now this is Christ talking to his disciples, okay? The Son of Man goeth as it is written of him, but woe unto that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been born. That's why we got to be careful, We got to be careful how we mistreat people, and especially if we know we're doing it on purpose. Because it's going to come back to us in some form at some point. Then Judas, which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I? He said unto him, Thou hast said. Now, earlier, it had already talked about Judas going to some officials and asking how much they would pay to serve Jesus up. Jesus, whatever. I'm not going to get caught up on the names. I'm not. He was somebody who lived on this earth. Regardless, the time frames, all back and forth, this and his names. So he already knew. But he didn't mistreat him, though, even though Judas was around him and stuff all that time. He still didn't mistreat Judas, even though he knew. Now, this is from the past rotation, and the one before we were talking about Judas and what he did to Christ. And as they were eating, Jesus took bread and blessed it and brake it and gave it to the disciples and said, Take, eat, this is my body. And he took the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them and saying, Drink ye all of it. For this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins. I'm going to leave it right there. Thank you.